It also offers a sparkling union of the Jane Austen novel of manners with the mystery genre. Like Austen-Leigh focuses on insular communities, and our pleasure derives in part from the affectionate, sometimes mocking particularities of habit, locale, and ritual. Austen-Leigh also uses the particular to comment on the general. While we may not identify with Cambridge in the 1930s, we understand the peccadilloes of self-importance and the genuine power of radical intelligence. We might not know the country house world, but we recognise the shared emotional landscape of a closely connected community, the generosity wealth makes possible, and the envy and parochialism it instills. Austen-Leigh's fiction is typical of the Golden Age in its descriptions of crimes set in a world that, while modern in sensibility, is also deeply nostalgic. In her novels, both the university and the village estate should rightly be ruled by kindness, wisdom, loyalty, and merit. However, Austen-Leigh avoids simple stereotypes. When she employs stock characters, the faithful retainer, the oblivious professor, or the idealized patriarch, she does so to interesting ends. Ethical people cross legal lines, and crime can be morally murky. Although men are haunted by their combat experiences, these traumatic memories also create an appreciation of both the absurdity and the comfort of social niceties. Women drive fast cars, swear, and push against old-fashioned limits, but seek idealized romance with benevolent, successful patriarchs-to-be. Like her well-known relative, Austen-Leigh accomplishes this complexity through the use of a slightly ironic narrator whose distance from the characters allows a more knowing voice to shape our point of view. For example, to critique the detective's suspicions of local drug smuggling, the professor pulls out a dirty-looking book and reads aloud a long quote about the improbability of holding such dreadful suspicions of evil occurring in the country and age in which we live. The detective comments, "That's very good. Who wrote it?" The professor responds, "A parson's daughter, more than 100 years ago." If we recognise the source as Jane Austen's Northanger Abbey, we get the irony. Both Austen's novel and The Incredible Crime are genre novels that overtly take up the question of the value of genre. The quote also establishes the detective as a reader of Austen. Fine praise indeed, and yet his interpretation signals his good-natured naivety. As the agent knows, England does indeed include such evil. Both Austen-Leigh and Austen defend the homely English countryside, while locating danger as coming from within rather than without. The Incredible Crime was hailed by critics as the very essence of mystery, for its plot, well-drawn characters, and passages of unusual beauty, especially in her descriptions of Cambridge and the coast of Suffolk. The Times Literary Supplement praised the novel as writing and analysis of character of a much higher order, adding that Miss Austen-Leigh might consider a more serious vein of writing. We who love crime fiction can be delighted that she did not. Lois Austen-Leigh, 1883 to 1968. Lois Austen-Leigh and her siblings grew up on stories of the genius of their famous Aunt Jane. Her father, Arthur Austen-Leigh, Austen's great-nephew, was rector at Winterbourne, Gloucester, where Lois was born and lived until they moved to Wargrave, Berkshire, where he served as vicar until retiring in 1911. Lois's diaries from Wargrave, 1898 to 1906, offer a snapshot of an exuberant, comfortably situated English girl in the years before the war. Swoony commentary on her brother's Cambridge friends, dramatic accounts of the horrors of caring for chickens, and the various joys and travails of teachers, cancelled picnics, and new frocks. They also record her excellent ear for language and eye for detail, and hint at the sparkling tone we see in her fiction decades later. As a young woman, she seems to have had the same flair for the unconventional that we see in her